if it's true that Psalms 127 says, children are a heritage from the Lord, a blessing, then we should name them. We should gift them back to God. For every blessing from Him is His already. So we should steward the gift as if it was God's. They were God's. He or she were God's. And in that moment, I read Exodus 18, verses 4 through 5, somewhere in there. I can't help but to think of the story for Moses when he reminds us why he named his children. And his first son was kind of a name that was a struggle for his faith journey. The second son was named for success of his faith journey. And I just see that as a blessing, as Moses intentionally reminding us, and God ultimately intentionally reminding us through Moses that these children are His. And as a result, Moses can then steward his mission appropriately, follow his mission appropriately. And when I say by appropriately, I mean to the fullest. Because if you name your children for you, or, nothing wrong with naming them after you, but if you surround your children and hold on to your children as if this gift is to yourself, from yourself, you're going to control it too much. And ultimately, you're not going to know what to do. It's the same story for the business owner who starts a business and can't sell. They always recommend that you have a plan B to sell the business. And ultimately, why? Because if you don't want to sell and it's your baby, every decision you make going forward will be self-centered, will be very biased, and we don't make good decisions with our flesh. We have the ultimate decision maker, God, on our side blessing us. Let's name things in our life after Him. Let's name things in our life as if they came from Him. One way I do that is I name everything in my notes section God's folder, God's house. When people talk about the house we have, I say this is God's house. When people say what's your passwords, every password has Jesus in it. Now I got to change them, but yeah, you get the point. God has taught me over time how to correct my selfish flesh. And I hope that you can take some of these habits and apply them to your life as well by saying, this is God's folder. This is God's child, son, daughter. This is God's clothes. And every time you put them on now, you will recognize and from what posture you must live your life. You can walk in obedience better. You can have a perspective better. You can be fixed on Him better. Renew your mind every day, Scripture says. You can do this by implementing the habits that point all these things to God.